Because of the following specially scheduled sports event, the CBS late movie will not be presented tonight.
Marcus Johnson of Milwaukee played only 28 minutes in Game 5 Wednesday because of back spasms. Tonight may be a different story.
We need him. He's got to be at a very high performance level for us to win, and he's going to give it his all. He may not be 100%, but he'll be pretty close.
Time may be running out on Bob Lanier in his 11th year in the NBA. He'd like to have the chance to play in a World Championship final.
Bob's time is definitely running out, and he's a winner. He wants to go out a winner, and he deserves to be one.
For the Philadelphia 76ers, the Dr. Julius Erving, who's averaged almost 25 points a game in the first 5 meetings with the Milwaukee Bucks. He doesn't want to play a Game 7.
We consider tonight's game the clincher. We want to wrap up the series tonight, not go back to Philadelphia for a 7th game. We viewed Wednesday's game in Philadelphia as a pivotal game, 5th game. But the 6th game for us, since we're ahead and their backs are against the wall, is clincher.
So tonight, it's Game 6 from Milwaukee as the Bucks play host to the Philadelphia 76ers, trailing 3 games to 2.
Welcome to the NBA Championship Playoffs. Tonight, game number 6 of the Eastern Conference Semifinal Series. The Philadelphia 76ers visit the Milwaukee Bucks. This CBS Sports Special is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Tegrin Medicated Shampoo. With regular use, Tegrin helps control even problem dandruff.
Welcome to Milwaukee Arena, the 26th consecutive sellout here in Milwaukee. I'm Gary Bender along with Rick Barry and Bill Russell. As coming into this game, the Bucks trail 3 games to 2 in the best-of-7 series. You should know this anyway. In any series that's gone 6 or 7 games in the past, the Bucks have not been able to win those. Bill Russell, in the game that we had Wednesday night, a lot of changes, but a big one was Caldwell Jones playing Marcus Johnson.
Well, that was very successful, Gary, but not for the obvious reasons. The reason it was so successful is Milwaukee, to make sure they took advantage of it, they moved Marcus Johnson, had him starting from a guard position in the offense. This distorted and threw out of sync their whole offense. And I think it adversely affected Bob Lanier in his ability to try to maneuver around Daryl Dawkins, because the whole offense is out of sync, but they would have been better off if they made Marcus start at the forward.
Rick, what are they going to have to do to stay alive?
Well,
Milwaukee.
it's not going to be easy, Gary, but they've got to get their running game going, and they have to establish an inside game, which they didn't do Wednesday night.
All right, let's take a look now at the starting lineups. First, a look at the Philadelphia 76ers. There's the Doctor, Caldwell Jones, Dawkins, Cheeks, and Hollins, Coach Billy Cunningham. And for Milwaukee, the 2 Johnsons at forward. Lanier at center, Quinn Buckner and Sidney Moncrief, the 2 guards. John Vanek to throw the ball in the air, and he's assisted by Hugh Evans. And already you can see how important this game is to Milwaukee as Moncrief, a hustling effort on his part. Mickey Johnson, who had 20 points in game number 5 Wednesday night. Bob Lanier, rebound, Mickey Johnson traveling, and that will give it back to Philadelphia.
Well, immediately you can see they're going to try to start to get the inside game going. They went into Lanier quickly. Good defensive job. He missed everything. Mickey Johnson was there, but the 2 teammates battled for the ball, and Mickey was called for walking.
Maurice Cheeks, who's been outstanding in the playoffs. Daryl Dawkins, the Dr. Julius Erving, and he loses his footing. You can see both these teams going after the loose basketball. Bob Lanier. Lanier holds up. Dawkins slow and getting up. He's all right. Sidney Moncrief, who had 20 points Wednesday night. Caldwell Jones had pinned the ball against the glass. It's going to go off of Milwaukee and Philadelphia again. And Bill, you can see both these teams are higher than a kite.
Well, the teams that have gotten off in these games first and got the lead have usually won the game. They've been able to keep the lead from wire to wire. So both teams are very conscious of this. They're going to try to get off to a good start.
Here's Daryl Dawkins, Mickey Johnson. In only 1 game has Philadelphia been able to cut their turnovers down, and that was Wednesday night when they had only 12. Moncrief off to Bob Lanier. Lanier, who was held down in that game with only 9 points on Wednesday night, brings it back out to Mickey Johnson. Lionel Hollins, and Mickey Johnson gets the Bucks on the scoreboard. 2-0.
Made a mismatch that time, and Hollins had switched off onto Mickey. He used the superior height advantage to just shoot over Lionel.
Maurice Cheeks, who's shooting 62% in this series, in a little bit of difficulty. Hollins, who had 20 points in the last game. You can see the pressure put on defensively by the Bucks. Thrown away. Milwaukee with it to Mickey Johnson.
That's twice now Maurice Cheeks has been open on cuts to the basket, but bad passes resulted in turnovers.
Daryl Dawkins brings it down. Dawkins played very well in the last game. He came away with 14 points in that game. Also had 6 rebounds. He has to be one of the keys, Bill, if he gets started quickly for Philadelphia. Cheeks with Buckner on him. Into the doctor, broken up. Mickey Johnson with a steal. And Caldwell Jones comes away with him. Boy, these teams are really nervous right now. Cheeks to Dawkins, overthrown. That'll be off of Milwaukee.
They are really a little bit tight, I think. It's a very important game. A little bit of overpassing, a little anxious with the basketball. As a result, you're seeing some sloppy ball handling, some missed shots. They're just not really playing the type of basketball both teams are capable at this juncture.
Mark this down on your viewing calendar. The CBS Sports Saturday has exclusive interviews. Terry Bradshaw, will he have a television series or will he play football? And Ralph Sampson, will he come out to play or play another year at the University of Virginia? That's coming up Saturday.
Bill, interesting, in this amount of time, the Sixers have yet to get a shot in this basketball game, and 2 minutes and 23 seconds had gone by before they brought it in bounds.
Both these teams extremely high. Look at the turnovers already in the ball game. 4 against Philadelphia. Daryl Dawkins. Caldwell Jones brings it down. Caldwell in 2 of the 5 games has been in double figures in rebounds, and that's one statistic you should watch carefully. When he's in double figures, they usually win. Lionel Hollins, and Hollins, who was hot, hitting 8 of 11 on Wednesday night, makes it 2-2. Here's Quinn Buckner. Buckner to Marcus Johnson. Will watch his back as he takes Caldwell Jones up and shoots it. Lanier hits the deck, and it's going to be Philadelphia's, or check that, Milwaukee's basketball with 8:58 to go in this first quarter. Lanier will inbounds the ball. Marcus Johnson. 20 seconds left in this shot clock. Moncrief back to Mickey Johnson. Steal attempt by Cheeks. And Cheeks comes away with a foul. Maurice Cheeks, who leads everybody in this playoff series with 40 assists. The closest to him is 28. He was one of our candidates for the most valuable player on Wednesday night. Marcus Johnson to Mickey Johnson. Daryl Dawkins rips it down. Daryl's had a tough time this year against Milwaukee. He had only 4 offensive rebounds against the Bucks in the 7 games they'd played previous to Wednesday night. Here's the doctor wide open. Caldwell Jones.
Well, mismatch on the other side. Defensively, 2 men 1-to-1, and that left Caldwell wide open on a good cut to the basket.
Marcus Johnson makes a move on Caldwell Jones. He's fouled. You would expect, I think, a lot of that.
All right, here we see the last play now for the Sixers. Now watch the mix-up here. There's Lanier going with this man. You see Mickey Johnson went over to try to double team, and Caldwell Jones just slid in behind him, got wide open on the play. Easy dunk.
I talked to Don Nelson today, and he said what he wanted to do was start Marcus Johnson at a forward and have him take the ball to Caldwell Jones. Because most guys, defensive players like Caldwell Jones, one of the things that makes him a good defensive player is the lateral movement. If you go straight at him, then you take advantage of the fact that they're not able to use that lateral movement.
4-3. What they actually did is they had Marcus moved out to a guard, didn't they, Wednesday night?
Right, and this game they're going to start him at forward.
Caldwell Jones against Lanier. Caldwell Jones has hit 2 in a row. And the Sixers with a 6-3 lead. Marcus Johnson. Rebound, the doctor. They're hitting the defensive boards well, Philadelphia. Lionel Hollins, who was a backup for a long time, then came in to replace Andrew Toney at the guard spot, and he's really played well for this club. Maurice Cheeks. Cheeks hasn't missed very many. Here's Marcus. You can see Milwaukee trying to keep the tempo in an upbeat. Followed by Marcus Johnson. Rebound Dawkins. Moncrief. Great hustle on Moncrief's part.
Milwaukee really has the team pumped up, Bill. They're playing with a great deal of intensity. They're just diving after loose balls, bouncing on the board. Here you see the ball stolen. Moncrief will make a move to come in now on Jones. He goes up and makes a complete spin in the air, a 360-degree, and lays it up and gets a good bounce off the glass, the side of the rim, and finally in. But great determination on Milwaukee's part.
7-6 now. This should check that 6-5 in favor of the 76ers, and that's going to be off of Philadelphia. An argument ensuing there. Bob Lanier thought that possibly they had called it off of Milwaukee.
Well, he did it first, but he realized that he called the wrong direction.
Quinn Buckner brings it down off to Lanier. Lanier at 32 years of age. He's had a lot of trouble with that knee. He's had a lock on him 5 different times. Off to Buckner. Buckner cheeks all over him. Touchdown by Quinn Buckner. Buckner only had 6 points in the last game. And his counterpart, Cheeks, had 20, and there's a foul on Quinn Buckner. Buckner committing the personal foul. We have a timeout called. 6:37 to go in this first quarter. The Milwaukee Bucks with a 7-6 lead and a very unhappy Quinn Buckner. Terry Bradshaw. Well, will we see him on the football field anymore? An exclusive interview. Also, Ralph Sampson, the big 7'4" center of Virginia.
It's hard to believe the Phillies missed, only taken 5 shots so far in this game, and the Milwaukee's missed 9 shots in this game.
They're shooting only 25%. Caldwell Jones fouled by Mickey Johnson. Milwaukee 3 of 12. Philadelphia 3 of 5. Coming into this game, Billy Cunningham said the team was very tight coming down from Philly. Then he felt as they had a shoot-around that they started to loosen up a little bit.
Well, I tell you, in this type of game, when you figure this is the key game, that you're Milwaukee, for Milwaukee, it's definitely the key game. But for Philadelphia, you want to win it, and that's why they score so low. These guys, like everybody, get nervous, and they just haven't got started yet. It sometimes will take a whole quarter to get started in a game that's important.
You were just talking about one of the playoff games when you were a player coach with Boston, how nervous you guys were in the dressing room. Rebound by the doctor. Oh.
I think he wanted to make that one good.
9-7. We have a final. Phoenix has defeated Kansas City, and it'll be a 7th game, and we'll be there to bring that to you from Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix.
Okay, Linda, get the home cooking ready. Here's the doctor. Look at him take this one in. He just towers over everyone and throws that one through with a great deal of authority, trying to get his team picked up.
So we could have 2 7th games or 7th games of series if this one would continue. We already have that in the Western Conference.
That'd be some great Sunday, wouldn't it?
Oh. Understand
Fantastic.
Houston was leading tonight in that big game against San Antonio. And we will have a final coming in just a moment on that. Here's Moncrief. 9-8 Philadelphia. Sidney Moncrief in this series has 33 rebounds. That's second on this club. At 6'4", that's quite an accomplishment. That's about 6.5 rebounds a game. He's the guy that took over as a starter back on November 23rd when Brian Winters had some physical difficulties. There's your score, 9-9, 6 minutes to go in this first quarter from the Milwaukee Arena. 26 consecutive sellout here. Hollins, off to Maurice Cheeks, and Cheeks, who's been playing so well. Cheeks has done it all in this series, averaging over 17 points a game. 11-9, Philadelphia. Marcus Johnson out to Quinn Buckner. Buckner trying to shake Cheeks. Cheeks an excellent defensive performer. This Philadelphia team was #1 in the NBA on Bob Lanier. Bob has good touch for a big 6'11" man.
He's a great shooter from, I would say, anywhere from 18 feet in, which is unusual for a man of his size.
11-11. This Milwaukee team during the regular season of play was outstanding. They were 34-7, tied a club record. Lionel Hollins, and Hollins has picked up where he left off. He was shooting only 30% before that game Wednesday night. Quinn Buckner out to Bob Lanier. 2-point lead for the Sixers. Lanier again. Bob Lanier has 4 points in this game. There's Don Nelson. Nelly out playing golf today with Bill Russell. I haven't heard anything about the results, though. Caldwell Jones on the move. And that is going to be charging on Caldwell Jones.
Well, I'll tell you what, Billy Cunningham is incensed right now over there, yelling at John Vanek. No question in my mind, Marcus was late getting over there on this play. Caldwell also is quite upset, and they have every right to be on this particular play. There's Billy Cunningham. It shows you what he thinks of this play. There's the play again. Now watch Caldwell make the spin move. Mickey overcommits. Here comes Marcus. Now he's committed now. Look how Marcus just moves right underneath him. No question that was the block.
Caldwell Jones now has 2 personal fouls. Marcus Johnson. You see Bobby Jones playing with number 3. His uniform was stolen before the game. He won't be wearing his familiar number 24. 15-13, Milwaukee with the lead. So Bobby Jones has come into the ball game. Errol Dawkins is checked out. That means that Caldwell Jones now playing the pivot against Lanier. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cheeks, Buckner jumping out on him. Maurice Cheeks partially blocked by Buckner. Marcus Johnson to the rebound. Look at the body control. Come on, please. He was intimidated that time by Cheeks, but Mickey Johnson follows. Mickey Johnson now with 4 points to the Bucks with a 4-point lead and timeout by Philadelphia. The Sixers now trailing by 4. Milwaukee on the brink of elimination, as the Bucks have now run off 6 unanswered points before the sellout crowd. The Houston Rockets move to the Western Conference Finals as the Cinderella story continues. They defeat San Antonio in San Antonio, and at half, Tim Ryan will bring us highlights of both that game and Phoenix, Kansas City, the game that means there'll be a 7th contest coming up Sunday. Brent Musburger not with us at halftime as he's pursuing those stories on Terry Bradshaw and also Ralph Sampson. A foul as the doctor goes down. That's going to be a foul on Quinn Buckner, his 2nd.
Now you'll see Quinn Buckner come over to help out on a lob over Marcus. He hits Doc's left foot right there with his body inadvertently. Certainly nothing intentional. The foul was called underneath by John Vanek.
2 fouls on Buckner. Here's the doctor. Marcus Johnson picking him up. Bobby Jones at unfamiliar number 3. Rebound by Buckner. Buckner, the quarterback of this club. He's the one who distributes the ball for this Milwaukee team. Lanier now is hurt. Lanier is hurt. And he called a 20-second timeout. Let's hope it's not that knee.
He's looking at that left leg. They're doing something about, I don't know whether it's his foot he got stepped on or whether it is that knee. He hasn't grabbed anything, but it looks like it's something to do with the left leg.
Bob Lanier, who they say has the knees of a 70-year-old man. As we said, his knee is locked 5 different times. He's been averaging about 5 more minutes a game in the playoffs. Boy, I hope he can come back. Let's see if we can pick something up on that trip down the floor.
Okay, here's Bobby. Goes to turn. We'll watch his left leg. Let me see. I can't see him come into the frame on the right. I don't know if we can see anything now that happened. He's just running down the court. It looked like when he pushed off on that one little move there that it seemed to bother him some. There he is bending the left knee. So hopefully it's not that knee, but it sure looks like it is.
And on the floor they go for the ball again. Harvey Catching just checked in, number 42 for the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll try to get an update on Lanier. They're looking at him over there. There's a steal by Moncrief. Blocked by the doctor. He blocked it. Some of the fans feeling that should have been goaltending, but was not. Marcus Johnson, rebound, Harvey Catchings. Look at the intensity underneath the basket, and we have a loose ball foul coming up.
And if people just think that it's incredible that no foul was called, here comes a steal by Moncrief. Now watch the doctor take off and go after him. He makes up his mind. He's going for the block. Moncrief goes for the dunk. The doctor goes up, and he smacks it away. Moncrief actually grabs the rim on the play. Could have got called for a technical. Here it is coming at you from behind our basket. Goes up to the dunk. The doctor knocks it away. Moncrief hangs on the rim. No technical. Great play by Julius.
After all of that, Bobby Jones picked up his first foul. Under trouble off of Philadelphia. 17 seconds on the shot clock. This is an angry crowd here in Milwaukee.
Well, the referees are not on top of this game yet. They've missed about 5 or 6 calls for both teams. Not for one team or another, but they've missed some of the calls for both teams.
Here's Moncrief making a move on Clint Richardson, who's checked in. Nice play by Moncrief. So he gets a basket anyway after all of that.
Well, they had to work hard that time. Marcus Johnson on the inbounds pass broke open wide under the basket, and they were not able to get the ball to him.
You saw the turnovers. Philadelphia with 8 turnovers. They're not protecting the ball like they did on Wednesday night. Drive by the Doctor. Beautiful move, and he's fouled. Harvey Catchings commits a foul.
And now the reason that people are going crazy is that they feel that there was probably as much contact on that player as there was down the other end of the court, and yet the call goes against their team, and I guess that's typical of the home fans.
They have had remarkable crowds here. They played over 98% capacity in the Milwaukee Arena. Julius getting a little distractions, but doesn't let that bother him at all. There's Don Nelson. Boy, I tell you, you could see the intensity in Nelly before this game. Rebound by Mickey Johnson. 19-14. Milwaukee with the lead. 2:17 to go in this first quarter. It is noisy here, and this arena is always noisy. Great fan support in Milwaukee. Here's Moncrief. Changes his shot. Follow. Catchings. Take that Mickey Johnson, and he's fouled. Boy, you get that ball underneath, you better be ready to protect yourself.
Here's the play coming up again. There you see Julius goes for the rebound, didn't block his man off, but Marcus didn't go to the boards, but Moncrief followed, kept it alive. Then Mickey Johnson battles hard in there, and as he goes up, he picks up the foul. But great intensity again on the offensive boards, Bill. This is something they did so well in Philadelphia Wednesday night.
And this is where they miss when they have to rest Caldwell Jones. This is why he's so important to that Philadelphia team, in that most teams do not get a second or third shot when he's in there.
Hey, Lanier getting ready to come in, Gary. Looks like a good sign for the Bucks.
And Steve Mix, who had 17 points in 17 minutes in the last game. Look at this, 20 of 20, 21 straight. And you know, he did not shoot the ball all that effectively during the regular season, but he is in this playoff series. Daryl Dawkins, by the way, was guilty of that last foul. Andrew Toney is now coming in. As we mentioned earlier, Bobby Jones has that number 3 jersey on. Here is Steve Mix. Moncrief with yet another rebound. What a job he's done rebounding. Quinn Buckner on Toney. And Andrew Toney reaching in and committing the foul. Bob Lanier will now come in. Wait a minute.
They've called an offensive foul on Harvey Catchings underneath the basket, pushing off.
Richardson, Andrew Toney now the guard. Steve Mix, Bobby Jones, and Daryl Dawkins in for Billy Cunningham's team. And there will be a foul on Moncrief, reaching in on Toney. Let's look at that last play.
Okay, here's the foul. Now watch Harvey Catchings right there, the left part of your screen. He just goes in there and sets a cross body block on Steve Mix. That was the foul, as you saw the man, Buckner, driving up the middle, but the foul occurred before the shot.
Philadelphia, by the way, has not scored a field goal in the last 3 minutes and 47 seconds. And they missed 2 important free throws now. Earlier it was the Doctor, and now Andrew Toney. Toney, the last time out, had 9 points. In game 4, though, he had 17. 21-15. The Bucks with the lead. 1:23 to go in the first quarter of play. Marcus Johnson up to Catchings. Back door. Moncrief, he hit the basket. He hit the basket. Oh, wait a minute. Ron Bannick is going to award the ball to Milwaukee.
What happened is we went up for the shot. The ball was hit by Dawkins, and then it hit, I think, underneath the basket. And they're saying that it's a white ball, came off of Dawkins hitting under the basket.
Anyway, Milwaukee has it. A fresh 24 seconds on the shot clock. Marcus Johnson off to Bob Lanier. You can see Dawkins moving him outside. Shooting much better tonight. Buckner.
Called for another foul. They allowed the basket, which is unusual on a foul situation like that, to count the basket, then give the foul, but they felt it occurred after the shot was taken. They gave the bucket to Buckner, but Catchings again pushing off underneath the basket.
Steve Mix, the recipient of the foul, goes to the line. Now here's another guy that's really been shooting well from the free throw line. Steve Mix has hit 14 of 15 in this series.
You know, the fouls that are called in a game, the referee has to use discretion on the calls that he's going to make, because you could call a foul on every play. Now, tonight, these referees have started off, they have not been making real good choices, it seems, on the fouls that they're going to call. The ones that are going to call, mostly are fouls. with the choice about which ones to call.
23-17, Milwaukee. Moncrief to Buckner. Lanier, Dawkins reaching around. Darryl Dawkins trying to reach in.
Well, I'll tell you, Bob Lanier really battled hard to get the position that time on Darryl Dawkins. Dawkins was doing a good job of trying to front him. Darryl's calling and saying that he hooked him that time. And Caldwell Jones is back into the game for Dawkins.
And Brian Winters will now check in for Milwaukee. Brian Winters replaces Quinn Buckner, as Dawkins will sit down after committing his second personal foul. That's what they did Wednesday night when he picked up 2. They got him out of there early.
Lanier shoots 2.
Here,
Bob Lanier does.
Lynn Elmore is also checked in for Milwaukee. He hasn't seen all that much action, but he's in this one. It's going to be Philadelphia's basketball. 47 seconds to go in this quarter. And Junior Bridgman also is checked in for the Bucks. A lot of substitutions in this first quarter of play.
Well, Billy Cunningham before the game said that he's changed his substitution pattern the last 2 ball games. Well, he would for this one and for the last one he did.
Clint Richardson, that'll be goaltending on Bob Lanier.
That ball was on the way down. Take a look at it again. You see Bob so close underneath the basket. When he jumps up, the ball definitely coming down. He's so close to the basket, can't help but be goaltending.
Well, that drove a long dry spell as far as field goals are concerned for this Philadelphia team. They now trail by 5, 24-19. As we come to the last seconds, you see the time remaining in this first quarter. Junior Bridgman off to Brian Winters. Richardson staying tough on him. And that's going to be the Sixers basketball with 14 seconds. And pressure will be put on now by Milwaukee. Maurice Cheeks will come in. They'll get another ball handler in on the last 14 seconds.
Another shooter, too.
Coming out, Caldwell Jones. Into Andrew Toney. You watch the time. Getting up high again. Time of 2, 1, and that would have counted had it dropped. So the first 12 minutes are over. As this very noisy crowd has Milwaukee leading by 5, 24-19. This CBS Sports Special will continue after this word from your local station. Exclusive interviews on CBS Sports Saturday. Terry Bradshaw, the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, and Ralph Sampson, the University of Virginia. Brent Musburger coming up with those stories. Looking forward to seeing them.
Amazing statistic. Milwaukee is only 3 for 14 in that first quarter on shots inside of 12 feet. That's an incredibly low percentage.
35% for Milwaukee in that first quarter. Philadelphia 54%. And it's now 24-21. Bobby Jones.
Talking to Billy Cunningham before the game, and he said what he likes to do on this particular, on the Milwaukee team, is make that extra pass. If they make the extra pass, then they have the Milwaukee team has a breakdown on the defense. So, and that's how that last shot got over, was that extra pass. What ordinarily would be a shot, you give it up, and one more time, and you get an open shot.
And that last one, they had a good penetration on that last drive inside. And what they're trying to do is get the ball from the strong side where they have 3 men to the weak side of the floor with 2 quick passes, and it's worked successfully for them.
That last foul on Tony is Junior Bridgman, who's been averaging 15 points a game in the series.
You know, Milwaukee had 9 breaks in the first quarter, Gary. They only got 1 point off a free throw on their break situations.
Tony looked like Moncrief may have had a hand on that ball. Here's Brian Winters, who's been slow this year with neck and shoulder difficulties. Bob Lanier, and Lanier has come back from that moment where everybody was holding their breath as to whether he'd be able to continue. Lanier has hit well from outside. He has 7 points in this game, a 7-point lead for Milwaukee. We've just started this second quarter of play. John Killeley, Don Nelson, you can see the intensity on their faces. Steve Mix, 6 seconds, 5, 4 on the shot clock, 3, 2, and Mix off the iron, Bobby, and we're going to have a loose ball foul against Philadelphia.
Well, I'd say he should have taken that ball to the basket. He had a 2-on-1 break. He pulls up and takes a 15-foot jump shot, and he had his man underneath Moncrief on the baseline.
Rick, he's over 6'9". One more dribble, he would have kicked it.
Well, here we go. Now, look, there's only 1 man back, Toney. Now, he stops and pulls. On the right side, you'll see Moncrief. If he goes to the basket, he's got a little man that has to pick him up. Bad choice of shots.
He felt safer with a shot than with 1 more dribble.
Clint Richardson was the guy that threw the hip into him. There's the shooting statistics we mentioned very briefly, and you can see again Philadelphia not shooting well from that free throw line. They missed a couple of them in that first quarter. Here's Richmond, and it is physical. And that's going to be a loose ball foul on Milwaukee. Quinn Buckner is committed to foul, and on Buckner, nope, they're going to give it to Elmore. I'm sorry.
Look at Elmore trying to back in, fighting mix, battling for position. Underneath, backing, coming over the back is where the foul call was. I don't know where they called the one on Buckner. I couldn't even find Quinn there.
It's on Lynn Elmore, his one. Maurice Cheeks, Buckner on him. Here's the doctor. That one went through everybody.
And Steve Mix got away with shoving off. He pushed off with the forearm on that particular pass, and I guess in doing that, he threw his timing off, wasn't able to get the pass.
Billy Cunningham with a timeout.
It's 9 turnovers against Billy's team. That will go off of the doctor, and Milwaukee will have it with 15 seconds on the shot clock, and we have a timeout. A timeout with 9:53 to go until halftime. Don't forget at halftime, Tim Ryan will come along with highlights of that Houston and Phoenix win. And there's our playoff coverage picture for Sunday. We'll have either Milwaukee at Philadelphia or Philadelphia by number 7.
Nice cut by Brian Winters. Crossed the middle, wide open, pulled up and took the nice little short jumper.
You know, we talked about the key of Daryl Dawkins. Well, Dawkins thus far in this game hasn't scored. He has 3 rebounds. Lanier has scored 7 points.
It's hard for anybody in Philly to score. Bill, 13 shots in 1 quarter. That's incredibly low.
Well, you know what happens, Rick, in a game like this, you can get so hard to get on track.
That time, the doctor, they thought they had a foul. Milwaukee did not. Here is Bob Lanier. Lanier shooting from outside. Rebound. Maurice Cheeks. Back is Junior Bridgman. Cheeks now will wait. Cheeks and Richardson playing the guard spots. Dawkins is out of there still with 2 fouls. Out to Clint Richardson. Look at Billy Cunningham standing in the background with his hands in his pockets. Rebound by Lanier. Off it comes to Buckner. Buckner with 8:52 to go until halftime. Junior Bridgman. And that'll be out of play. It'll be the Sixers ball. Lionel Hollins is now going to check in, as will Bobby Jones. As checking out will be Clint Richardson and Steve Mix.
Well, Billy doing what he said he was going to do, use a lot of people. And the one game that they won here, as you get a good look at Daryl Dawkins on the Philly bench, is in the game they won, he only played 6 or 7 men and played them a lot of minutes. But he said he's not going to do that. He's going to do more like game Wednesday night and change the substitution and his rotation. He's got to do something here to get them going.
Well, one thing he's not getting that he did Wednesday night was a good start by Daryl Dawkins. And we've talked about how key he is to this team. And we have a foul. Brian Winters. Lionel Hollins hit the deck. Winters committing the foul.
What happened in that game, we weren't aware of Marcus's back problem, and let's talk to Don, and Don said that he had to change his whole substitution system because of Marcus's back problem, and that kind of threw the Milwaukee offense out of sync, and as a result, they did not do well in that second quarter.
Off to Maurice Cheeks. You can see how tough it is inside. The doctor with Marcus Johnson on him. Tough shot. You can't play him any tougher in there, can you, defensively?
Unless you block it.
5 points now for the doctor. Junior serving. Brian Winters off to Bob Lanier. Backing in against Caldwell. Nice rejection. Junior Bridgman. Marcus Johnson with a rebound. Again, Milwaukee's out-rebounded them all but 1 game. And we have a foul as a bounce off of Marcus Johnson. A foul on Bobby Jones, his 2nd personal.
Bobby, well, that's Billy Cunningham telling him to switch men now, defensive assignments. Here's Marcus after he got the good rebound. He makes a move across the middle. There's Bobby Jones, and he gets a shove from Lanier, and that's why he crashed into Marcus Johnson. So, nice push by Lanier at that time.
He should get an assist for that.
He should, yes.
Marcus Johnson and the doctor have really been going after each other, and look how close the scoring statistics are. The rebounds, the assists, the big difference. Marcus with a better of that. 2-2, excellent play. Boy, Bobby Jones was knocked down. I mean, really knocked down. He's looking around to see the number of that vehicle that went by, and he's talking to Quinn Buckner. Buckner ran over him. I mean, really ran over him. This Let's look at it again.
Well, I think they got a little tangled up. It'll be on the left part of the screen. I don't think we'll pick up the actual trip, though, because Julius makes his move in. You already see Jones down on the floor, and they just kind of got tangled up, and Bobby certainly came out on the short end of it. And you know that something funny had to go on for Bobby Jones to say something. He's not the kind of guy that complains.
That's right. Two excellent citizens in Quinn Buckner and also Bobby Jones. Buckner has to come out now because that's his third personal foul. Jones really hit hard. He fell unprotected. He couldn't get his hands out in time. But he's already ready to continue. Lionel Hollins off to Cheeks. 7.5 minutes to go until halftime. Broken up that time from behind by Bridgman. Here comes Moncrief, and the doctor has committed a foul. Don Nelson thought it was backcourt, but it was not. He'd come across that 10-second line.
We'll watch the play again inside. Here you see Bobby make the good cut. Right there, the ball was knocked away by Junior Bridgman. Moncrief takes off. Now Doc's going to go for the steal. He gambles, and he loses. Moncrief was in front court. Doc took off from the back. It's where the ball is that counts.
30-23. Milwaukee with the lead. And Lanier is called for a screen, a moving screen.
And that was a good call.
That is a blindside.
It's one of the things Don Nelson just said about it. He says Philly, when they run their offense, they said a lot of illegal picks, back picks where the guys are moving, and they haven't been getting the calls, they feel, and I'm trying to keep an eye on that tonight, and I've seen a great deal of that happening. We'll try to pick it up for you.
The doctor thought better of the shot, and it was intercepted. Marcus Johnson, that was the first foul, by the way, on Lanier. Marcus Johnson takes it all away, and I believe that back is all right. However, that's only his first field goal of this game.
Lionel Hollins should have dropped off that time and shut off that drive and made Marcus pitch the ball out. Billy Cunningham does not like what's happening, and he's taking a smart timeout at this stage of the ball game, not to let things get totally out of hand.
And so it's 6:51. The Bucks with a 32-23 lead in the second quarter of play. A very attentive Don Nelson. At the start of this game, we wanted to visit with Bob Lanier and Marcus Johnson. They were so nervous that finally Don came out and talked to us for the opening of our show. Billy Cunningham, he even scrubbed one of their practice sessions here because he thought the team was too tight. And this game, both teams have shown some nervousness as we have 6:40 to go in this first half of play. CBS Sports Saturday, looking forward to that tomorrow. Terry Bradshaw, Ralph Sampson, two big news stories on the baseline. Lanier, Harold Dawkins has checked back in, and he had to lay off of him. He's already committed 2 personal fouls. There's the shooting. Look at that, 2 of 6, 4 of 10. Again, showing a little of the nervousness, but also, men, they are playing tough defense.
This is as physical a game as you're going to see anywhere.
There's a mismatch. Bridgman on Daryl Dawkins. 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3, 2, 1, and they didn't get it underway.
And both times there, 2 men came to that weak side spot at the free throw line away from the ball, and they were both open. Julius Erving first, then Caldwell Jones. They didn't see Julius. They got it to Caldwell. He should have shot the ball.
10-2. Milwaukee has outscored this Philadelphia team. And it's 34-25. Inside 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Here's Moncrief. Lionel Hollins playing tough defense on him. Brian Winters, you saw Dawkins jump out. Hollins with the rebound. Off to Cheeks, 3-on-1. Cheeks to Dawkins. Nice movement by the big guy. That was not easy. 34-27. Darrell now with 4 points in the game. Both of them coming in the second quarter. Lanier. Well, Lanier comes back and answers with a basket of his own.
He got open that time. He pushed Daryl Dawkins out of the way to get open. Got away with it.
Look at the turnovers. 11-2. And the foul difficulty. Here is the doctor. Rebound. Mickey Johnson. Boy, he played well Wednesday night and is tonight.
Philadelphia not getting too many people in on the offensive boards, especially that last time. Nobody even made an effort.
Remember, Milwaukee has out-rebounded Philadelphia in all but 1 game of this series. And that's going to go off of the Bucks. Marcus Johnson pleading his case. Andrew Toney now checking back in for Philadelphia. There he is, the rookie. As going out will be Cheeks. So it'll be Hollins and Andrew Toney in the backcourt. Inside 5 minutes to go until halftime.
Now, both these coaches are looking for a combination. And there's a certain kind of combinations you have to have. Combination offense. That was a great shot.
Oh, left-handed. I tell you, he never ceases to amaze me. That'll be off of Philadelphia. But go ahead, Bill. You talked about combinations.
That you have to have a combination of offense and defense and rebounding. And you got to keep, sometimes in games like this, you got to keep trying combinations until you get one that feels right. These coaches know these clubs so well, they should. At this point, I was talking to Billy Cunningham about it. He has a feel, and he's looking for that. That's why he's making so many substitutions.
This game isn't even similar at all to that game we saw Wednesday, so you have to find something different. 38-29, 8 points for Moncrief. A lot of bumping, shoving in the backcourt as Tony now brings it across. Moncrief playing on him. Moncrief, the man from Arkansas in his second year. Caldwell Jones into the doctor. Look how well he moves off the ball. Blocked by Johnson, but a foul has been spotted. Hugh Evans has spotted a foul. It's going to be Marcus Johnson committing a personal foul. Nope.
All right, here we come. Now watch
Mickey
this
Johnson.
play coming from our high-angle camera. There's a back pick set underneath. We didn't quite get to see it.
Well, they called it on Mickey. It could have been Marcus. Both of them were there, but Mickey Johnson comes away with a foul. His second, the fourth team foul. Tony now setting up the play. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Caldwell Jones. And as he came down, Brian Winters committed the foul. That's another case of having room to catch the ball.
Here's that back pick I talked about again. We're going to see the play coming up here. Well, Julius gets the ball again, but again, we didn't quite get the pick. He got open, and right there was the foul coming up on the play. Actually, Marcus fouled him first, then Mickey did going after the rebound.
But Mickey eventually whistled with the foul. This foul on Brian Winters, his second. Caldwell Jones. Jones, during this series, has averaged over 10 a game, which is up from his seasonal average. Also, almost 10 rebounds a game. He had 13 rebounds in Game 3. He has 6 points. His 8th-year veteran from Albany State of Georgia. Caldwell cuts it to 7, 38-31. 3:46 to go. Tim Ryan at halftime. Highlights of Houston's clinching semifinal win over San Antonio. Also Phoenix defeating Kansas City to make it a 7th game on Sunday. Here's Marcus Johnson, blocked by Caldwell Jones. Off to Lionel Hollins. Hollins forcing the issue. Off to the doctor. Pressure put on by Brian Winters. Winters hustling everywhere. Mickey Johnson with the intercept. Here comes Marcus Johnson to Mickey Johnson. He walked with the ball.
I don't know if he walked with it or not, Gary. That was pretty tough to say. He kind of picked it up in stride. You're allowed a step and a half, but when sometimes the official thinks something looks funny, they call a violation. We'll take a good look at it right now. Here comes Mickey. He picks it up now. He's allowed that step. One more. That's not a walk. He's allowed that step right there. That is not a walk, and that would have been goaltending.
And this crowd here not happy. 38-31. Maurice Cheeks over to help out Lionel Hollins. Cheeks in a little bit of trouble with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Lionel Hollins back to Cheeks. Winters looked like he almost blocked it, but Cheeks hit it anyway. 4 points for Cheeks. 38-33. Boy, you can see how tough it is to win here. This crowd is really something. Into Bob Lanier. Beautiful touch by the big center.
That's what Bob's going to have to do more of. Get it quick, make a fast move, because when he gets the ball and doesn't do something fast with it, the Philadelphia team has been told and instructed to collapse in on him. That's what they did so well Wednesday.
13 points for Lanier. What a shot. What a shot. A chance for a 3-point play.
Well, we practiced that one, and usually, yeah, you can believe that. Now I could sell you a bridge, too. Watch this incredible play by Julius Erving. Just an amazing move, a spin move. 2 men come over, it goes up under the arm, flips it up, gets fouled in the basket, and the doctor operated on that one. And right now, it's the Bucks with a 5-point lead. 2:26 to go.
On the CBS Sports Saturday, we'll get an inside look on Ralph Sampson, whether he returns to play for Virginia or goes to the NBA. Also, Terry Bradshaw, his future plans. And at halftime, we'll switch to New York. And Tim Ryan will have some very, very interesting highlights. I'm looking forward to seeing how Houston pulled out Game 7 and how Phoenix kept alive.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If a team can't win one game at home, they don't deserve to advance to the next round. And that's exactly, I think, the situation. Well, they did win one at home. I mean, San Antonio, they lost 3 times at home, though. And you've got the home court advantage. You should take advantage of it. But, Bill, we talked about it before. In this playoffs, it really doesn't mean as much as it does during the regular season.
Houston has really come a long ways, beating LA, and now San Antonio. Bob Lanier, and that'll go to Philadelphia. The Sixers with the ball, 2:09.
And Caldwell Jones has been a real force in there defensively. He's made a couple of big blocks inside and really helped to get this Philadelphia team turned around somewhat.
You see the shooting statistics even from the field. John Vanek spotting the personal foul. Going to go on Bridgman. It'll be his first. And now Pat Cummings will check in for the first time for Milwaukee. And Bob Lanier is going to come out. Lanier, much more effective in this game. He has 13 points. And you're going to remember that on Wednesday night, he ended up with only 9 for the entire night. He's been much more mobile, Bill. And any reasons why?
Well, I think that the offense of Milwaukee, like I said, they're starting with Marcus Johnson down low. Whether he's more effective or not is not that important, is that they're able to more synchronize their offense, and the moves that they make and the openings that they're used to having are there now.
You see Daryl Dawkins has come in. Dawkins struggling in this first half with 4 points. He picked up 2 fouls early. The Doctor now with 11 points and 2 incredible field goals in this first half. 40-38, and all of a sudden now it's a 2-point game.
And Philly has managed to keep the Bucks from getting a big running game going. They had 9 breaks in the first quarter. They've only had 5 in this second quarter so far.
Pat Cummings, who played very well on Wednesday night, coming in and scoring 7 points. Block, Moncrief, and that'll be traveling. Richmond came down with the ball. That's the 7th turnover against the Bucks.
Here we see the play again. It was a good move by Cummings. He gets open, comes in. The Doctor times it beautifully, knocks it away. Moncrief passes for a second. He loses it. Bridgman picks it up. He goes up in the air, and it was his own man, Cummings, who hit the ball.
That turnover gives it to Philadelphia. 1:30 left in this first half. Lionel Hollins, and Hollins is really back on track now.
And I tell you, Bill, the Philadelphia has to feel real good. They did not play very well for a majority of this first half. They've turned it on here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. They've got a new ball game out of it. They've got to look really happy going into that second half.
That's what it is, a new game, 40-all, as we approach 1 minute left in this first half. The Doctor, watch this. The Doctor's having a superb first half with 14 points, and now Philadelphia the 2-point lead.
That's a 13-2 run on Philly's part to take the lead here with 50 seconds to go in the half.
Philadelphia playing so well. They dispatched Indiana in 2 games. Now they're trying to close it out here, 4-2. Mickey Johnson is hammered as he goes inside. Did you see Dawkins pick him up?
Hey, he picked him up like he was a feather or something. Here we'll see the move. Here comes Mickey Johnson on the baseline. He goes up hard, goes down. The foul occurring. Looks like maybe on the other side. Did they give it to Dawkins? Yes,
Dawkins.
they did.
That's 3 on Darryl.
And here comes Julius the last time down the court. Just lays it in there nice and easy.
The Doctor is putting on a clinic in this first half. Mickey Johnson makes it 41-42. He can tie it up. Dawkins has to come out after committing his 3rd personal foul. Philadelphia has outscored Milwaukee now 9-0.
Mickey Johnson just broke his string.
That never fails. Gary started talking about it.
Now, wait a minute. I didn't say anything. I was intentionally laying back on this one.
But you talked about him the last time.
It's all even again. 42-all. Mickey Johnson with 8 points. Bobby Jones. Boxing off well the Bucks. Brian Winters with it. 33 seconds. You see the time remaining in the first half. Don't forget at halftime, Houston, San Antonio highlights. Phoenix, Kansas City highlights. Big games throughout the NBA. Here's Bridgman, the Doctor on him. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 4, 3. Rebound and a loose ball foul. It's going to go against the Doctor, I believe. It's against Philadelphia.
It's on Curitan, I believe.
It's going to go on Philadelphia, and they're going to give it.
It's Curitan, Gary.
Is it Curitan?
Yes.
Okay, Earl Curitan picked it up. And at the line now is Pat Cummings. Cummings, the man who started 6 games for this Milwaukee team. Here's Mike Evans checking in. Evans had a very effective game earlier in this series, picking up 13 points.
Big difference in this quarter as far as the lead situation concerned. Even though Philadelphia's made a great comeback, it's been the free throw line. Milwaukee's only 2 for 5, and Philadelphia's hit all 5 of their free throws.
Two shots coming now for Cummings with 12 seconds left until halftime. 43-42, Milwaukee with the lead once again. You see what he did on Wednesday night. That's in 16 minutes that he played. He came in and really contributed to this Milwaukee team. A 2-point lead for the Bucks. They're going to have to hurry. 10. Hollins all the way. He just took him in, and Junior Bridgman committed a foul.
Well, there's just no excuse for that. That's a breakdown totally defensive to allow a man to do that, drive down the court from one end to the other without someone attacking him. You must shut off the initial penetration, which is the man with the ball. Now here he comes. Bridgman just keeps giving distance. And they're right here. Cummins should have come in to attack him right there. Now look at the back turn on Moncrief down underneath the basket. He never saw him till it was too late. So two men made bad defensive plays, allowing him to come in all the way to the basket, Hollins that is, and then they compounded Bill by fouling the man.
And basically, when Junior Bridgman was backpedaling, you're facing a man that's left-handed. You got to step over and make him go right. That's just a fundamental thing. That's the way you slow him down.
Lionel Hollins, a 3-point play, a 1-point lead for the Sixers. 7 seconds left in this first half, and timeout now called by Milwaukee.
Now I tell you, that could be very costly if this game stays as close as it does, going right down to the wire. With 7 seconds to go here in the half, they've had to use another timeout, and I'm sure Don Nelson isn't really pleased about that.
All right, looking ahead tomorrow to the second week of the CBS Sports Saturday, which debuted last week. We're going to give you a lot of inside looks behind the scenes, and two men will figure in the show tomorrow. Terry Bradshaw, the brilliant quarterback of the Steelers. He has a series that could be coming out in television. If that in fact occurs, he will not be playing football, and we'll check up to see where he is right now. What will happen to Terry Bradshaw? And then Ralph Sampson, the brilliant 7'4" center of Virginia. Will he come out, or will he stay at Virginia?
Well, I was thinking about that thing with Terry Bradshaw about a series. Depends on what network it's on.
I wasn't going to mention that other one.
Well, I know if it's on certain networks, I'd stick to football.
Hey, what about Ralph Sampson? Hey, wait a minute. You've done some acting. What about Ralph Sampson? What are your impressions of him, Bill?
Potentially, I think he's one of the best young players I've ever seen. And what the question that he might be thinking about is, how much more will I learn? And that's got to be it. First of all, education is a very important thing. To be able to take care of yourself besides playing ball. And the other thing is, in applying your trade as a professional athlete, how well grounded is he fundamentally?
We come now to the final seconds of this first half. Mike Evans. Cummings, that will not count if it did go. And so Philadelphia, who's trying to close out this best-of-7 series, has a 1-point lead at halftime, 45-44. Stay with us. Tim Ryan will be back with playoff highlights.
Tim Ryan at our studios in New York at halftime, and the continuing story in the NBA playoffs has to be the amazing Houston Rockets. They have moved to the Western Conference Final with a 105-100 victory over the San Antonio Spurs, and they did it right in the hemisphere tonight. It was Calvin Murphy being the main man. You saw him driving there to pick up his 42nd point of the evening, and Tom Henderson converting on a three-point play here gives Houston a 94-90 lead late in the fourth period. But Mark Olberding hits a jumper to bring the Spurs back to within 3 as time is winding down. Now watch Olberding again, unimpeded from the top of the foul lane, closes to within 1, 97-96, Houston in front, 1:43 to go. But Robert Reed finds some room around the right side, drives to the baseline, and that little jumper was the big one, 99-96. The Rockets went on to win it 105-100, and to take that series 4-3. Calvin Murphy 42 points, Moses Malone 21, and now they await the winner of the Phoenix-Kansas City series. And what a ball game that was tonight, right at Kansas City. Another road victory, this time by the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix at the Kemper Arena, a very boisterous crowd on hand for the Kings, who were leading the series 3-2 when the game began. But the Suns jumped into the early lead on the shooting of Dennis Johnson. The Suns in the dark jerseys. Now watch here in the second period, Truck Robinson picking off Ernie Grunfeld's miss, an outlet to Alvin Scott, and Dennis Johnson again gives the Suns a 10-point lead. They were in command in the first half. The Kings' Scott Wedman, their usual hot hand from outside, having his problems. Here he misses a three-point try on that inbounds play. And the Suns doing the rebounding. Wedman had only 9 points in the first half. Here off the feed from Reggie King, he's blocked by guess who? Dennis Johnson, who seemed to be everywhere for Phoenix tonight. Now Johnson showing his passing ability, loops one to Alvin Adams, backdoor play, 42-37 Phoenix at the half. In the third period, with the Kings crowd coming alive finally, Wedman gets it going. Watch number 15, pop the jumper. And Wedman, who had only 9 points in the first half, suddenly got the hot hand, rallying Kansas City back. He hits again from the far side. And Wedman, with the crowd really coming alive and getting him juiced up, pops the three-pointer, and Kansas City goes in front, 66-64. Wedman going on to a 19-point evening. But the Suns' Dennis Johnson went back to work as the game wound down to the final minutes. Johnson hits again as Phoenix assumes command in this ball game. Rookie Kyle Macy, number 4, off the screen, goes to the baseline, hits the jumper, and that gives Kansas City coach Cotton Fitzsimmons heartburn. Final 12 seconds. Kansas City still with a chance to win. Trying to get it to Wedman, but it's Reggie King with the ball, forcing this one with 6 seconds still on the clock. He misses, and it's all over. Phoenix, with the clock winding down, has tied the series at 3, 81-76. And now, of course, they will move back home for the deciding 7th game. That will be the second game of our doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Well, the NBA road teams have had a remarkable series. We're going to come back and tell you about that action in the playoffs when we return after these messages from your local stations. Traditionally, it's been tough to win on the road during the NBA playoffs, but it's been unbelievable what's happened so far this year. The road teams, with the victories tonight by Houston and by Phoenix, have now won 19 out of 32 NBA playoff games played thus far. That's really amazing. And how about this Houston team? The first team with an under 500 regular season record to make it to a final series since the St. Louis Hawks did it way back in 1967. Well, of course, there is National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoff action also going on around the country. Out at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island tonight, the defending champion New York Islanders against the Edmonton Oilers. And the Oilers, who were beaten last night after upsetting Montreal in the opening round, took a 1-0 lead in tonight's game. Wayne Gretzky feeding Glenn Anderson, number 9, there to give the Oilers the opening goal of the game. And Gretzky will be featured on CBS Sports Sunday. What an outstanding season this 20-year-old from Brantford, Ontario has had. Here's his pass over to Anderson. He broke 2 NHL scoring records this year and was the overall scoring leader. It's been quite a year for Wayne Gretzky, and you'll meet him Sunday on CBS. Well, as the game went on, the Islanders, having more difficulty against the Oilers tonight, finally got it going with a power play goal by Dennis Potvin, went on to score the hat trick tonight, all of them on the power play, and you'll see him, number 5, sneaking in here on this power play. Mike Bossy sees him, and he beats Andy Moog as the Islanders went on to win it 6-3. Potvin with a hat trick, and the Islanders now lead the series 2-0, and it shifts to Edmonton for games 3 and 4 Sunday and Monday night. In other NHL action tonight, Minnesota beat Buffalo 5-2 at Buffalo, and so the North Stars now take a 2-0 lead in their series back home to Minneapolis-St. Paul. And also Calgary Flames got back into their series against Philadelphia with a 5-4 victory at the Spectrum in Philadelphia tonight. The series is tied 1-1, and they shift back to Calgary for the next game. So that's a look at the NHL and the NBA action tonight. We'll be going back to Gary Bender and company after these words from our sponsors.
This CBS Sports Special is sponsored by Canon, the compact copier with big copier features, the Canon NP200. Lowenbrau, when it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau. And by the U.S. Army, the Army, a great place to be, all you can be.
It's a 1-point lead at halftime for the Philadelphia 76ers, 45-44. And Don Nelson's crew trailing, and Bill Russell is with them. Let's join him.
Don, You weren't able to get your offense on track the first half. What adjustment do you think you'll have to make to get it on track the second half?
Well, Bill, we're playing absolutely super with the exception of about 2 minutes that we just went into a brain lock right towards the end. And you make those kind of errors against Philly, and they capitalize. They got right back in the game. Defensively, I'm very, very happy. We're trying to get the ball inside a little bit more. They blocked a lot of shots. They're going to do that on occasion. What we want to do is to try to get the inside and the outside going at the same time. And I think if we do that, we're going to be very successful.
Well, now Bob Lanier pulled up a little bit in the first half. Was that his knee locking up?
No, he had a spasm in his back. He also has a bad back and had trouble during the season. And he had a snap and got a little dizzy, so we took him out for a few minutes. But he's okay.
Now, how's Marcus's back? He hasn't been too effective the first half offensively. He's only made a couple of real strong moves. Is his back still bothering him?
There's no doubt it is, Bill. I think he's about 90%, which, is good enough for us, and I'm going to play him probably most of the second half unless it stiffens up.
All right, thanks a lot, Don. Good luck second half.
Thanks, Russ.
Gary?
Okay, Bill, we're going to get the other side of the picture now. Billy Cunningham with Rick Barry. The Sixers trying to close out this best-of-7 series. Let's go to him.
Billy, in the first half, I know you had a few anxious moments. You called a couple of timeouts to try and get things turned around. What did you tell your team at that time?
Well, that it was established that it's going to be an extremely physical game, that we have to establish ourselves, especially on the defensive boards. We have to have our patience with our offense when they're overplaying. Let's move without the ball. Let's just play smart heads-up basketball.
Okay, you had to be happy with what happened after you talked to them at that time. What did you tell them now at the half?
Well, that I feel that they gave us a heck of a shot. They came out aggressive. We were able to withstand it, and now we just have to really go out and establish ourselves in the third period.
Anything that they're doing that you are going to specifically key on in this second half?
Lanier. I don't want Dawkins. I try to get him out at the end of that first half. I should have gotten him out a little quicker. We'll try and help out on Lanier.
Good luck. Back to you, Gary.
Okay, Rick, each of our NBA telecasts this season, we've been selecting the Miller Highlight Most Valuable Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Miller will present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics organization in the name of the player selected, and the three of us will be voting, and we'll announce it at the conclusion of this game. Well, the Bucks' largest lead in the first half was 9 points, and then Philly outscored Milwaukee 16-6. At the end of that second quarter, the doctor was 7 of those 16 points, and looking at the shooting statistics, Bill Russell, the Bucks shooting only 37% from the field.
Well, if you're going to shoot a percentage that low, one good thing about it, they got a lot more shots.
In that first half, Moncrief was only 3 of 10 from the field. Here's Darryl Dawkins, who's playing with 3 fouls. Quinn Buckner with a rebound. You might remember Dawkins hit some baskets at the start of the game of the second half Wednesday night, but he didn't get this one to go for him. Quinn Buckner off to Bob Lanier. Lanier in that first half had the better of it. He had 13 points. Dawkins had only 4. Mickey Johnson. Moncrief underneath, and he saves it somehow. Sidney Moncrief into Bob Lanier, pushing off on Dawkins. Dawkins got to be careful. 3 fouls, and he just committed his 4th, and a chance now for a 3-point play.
And in this game in particular, this is a very key situation to start of the third quarter.
And we're going to see them play again. You see them battling for position. Lanier trying to hold off, gives him a little shove to get free, makes a little move to the inside, and just kind of hooks around Dawkins. Dawkins goes up, catches him with the body. The ball bounces and goes in. Big play for the Bucks because Dawkins has gone to the bench. Bobby Jones is in.
Well, you might recall Wednesday night it was all Philadelphia at the start of the second half. Right now it's going in favor of Milwaukee.
Well, Wednesday night was mostly the doctor at the start of the third quarter.
47-45, Milwaukee by 2. Maurice Cheeks. Cheeks off to Bobby Jones. Jones, a left-hander. The doctor follows. The doctor now was 16 points. He was 5 of 8 in the first half.
The entire coaching staff from Milwaukee was up off the bench. Well, Don Wall wasn't, but the 2 other coaches were. They felt that should have been offensive goaltending, that the ball had not cleared the cylinder when it was tipped back in.
The doctor was 16 points. His counterpart, Marcus Johnson, has only 3. Bob Lanier now is taking over. 49-47, Lanier with 18 points. Cheeks, Quinn Buckner on him. This could be the final half of the season for this Milwaukee team. The doctor, rebound, Lanier all over the place, off to Mickey Johnson. Johnson in that first half had 5 rebounds to go with these 8 points. Nice play by Mickey Johnson. He's in double figures. 51-47. Johnson has put two back-to-back fine performances together for Milwaukee.
And I'm sure what Billy would like his team to do is to continue to go inside. They had an incredible accuracy inside 12 feet, 11 for 17.
The doctor, the crowd heating up here, hitting the deck. Mickey Johnson, and that ball is going to go off of Philadelphia. The turnover, and that will be 14 turnovers now against Philadelphia, and the Bucks have made a run of 7-2 at the start of the second half of play. 51-47. You can see Bobby Jones, the excellent defensive player, creeping up behind Marcus Johnson. They turned the ball over, palmed the basketball, and that will give it back to Philadelphia with 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Bucks, who trail by 1, now lead by 4. In addition to Brad Shawn, Sampson will have world powerlifting and also dog sled racing.
Now watch Julius serving right there in the middle of the pick, left center, number 6. Now watch the beating that he takes when he's on offense. Look at the push by Marcus, little shot by Lanier. Mickey Johnson will come over, give him a little poke. He'll get on the baseline now. The Bobby Jones will drive into your picture from the right. He'll lay it up. Now look at Marcus fighting. He just shoves Marcus out of the way, giving a little back, but that ball was still looked like it was in the cylinder, so the Bucks were yelling for a very good reason.
The Bucks with a 4-point lead, 51-47, 9.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Caldwell Jones follows his own shot. Mickey Johnson tipped it away, and it's going to be Milwaukee's ball. So Dawkins is out of there, as Dawkins in a hurry picked up his 4th personal foul.
Well, what makes Lanier so tough in the middle, unlike most big guys, he has excellent lateral movement. And he gets free by moving laterally rather than trying to jump over people.
Marcus Johnson threw it away, and Marcus just not having the kind of game that they need from him. Been struggling. There's the game high scorer, though, Bob Lanier, who's come on strong. Lanier has never been in a world championship final despite his outstanding career of being in 7 NBA All-Star games. A doctor looking for help off to Bobby Jones. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 7. Lionel Hollins. Marcus Johnson with a rebound. Johnson off to Quinn Buckner. Buckner almost walked to the ball. He gets it off to Lanier. Mickey Johnson. And Johnson doing an excellent job for this team.
Yeah, Bobby Jones played good defense, and Mickey had to change his shot in the air, and he was still able to do it and get it in.
Johnson with 12 points. He's had 2 20-point games in this playoff series. Bobby Jones. Caldwell Jones tries to follow Lanier. 53-47, and Mickey Johnson falls down. They say he slipped. He's going to have a foul coming up.
Now on Julius.
The doctor committing a personal foul. It will be his 2nd.
Now watch Mickey on this last play. Bobby Jones will go right up with him. He doesn't go for the face. He goes right up. Mickey goes by him, double clutches the ball, gets it up softly on the glass. Nice individual effort that time.
Mickey Johnson hit a slump there late in the year, but he's really come on now. Look at the turnovers, 14-10. And now Hugh Evans.
Caldwell Jones holding Lanier. Lanier had him totally out of position, but a good move by Lionel Hollins dropping off on the weak side guard spot. Forced the Bucks not to throw the ball into Lanier, who had the man screened off.
3 fouls now on Caldwell Jones.
If you see Bob Lanier in the middle, he uses his hips as well as any players that ever played this game.
Let's look at Lanier again, give you an idea how he uses maybe his hips.
Now Caldwell moves out in front of him to try and get position to kind of quarter him and overplay. Now watch how he makes a little move right there. Now Caldwell goes out. Now he holds him off, but you saw Hollins drop in the picture. The foul was called, but it was good defense by Hollins.
It really showed what you're talking about, Bill. Here's the doctor using the glass beautifully. Boy, 18 points. He and Lanier now tied for game honors. 53-49. Quinn Buckner, you can see Tony staying tough on him. Some shoving inside. Mickey Johnson again.
Good pass by Bob Lanier. Nice soft pass, so it's easy to control.
55-49. The biggest lead Milwaukee had was 9 points in the first half. They now lead by 6. Tony backing in on Moncrief. Foul on Moncrief. Tony hoping to get the 3-point play.
No, and then Don Nelson asking for what I think was a good reason to call for it. Watch Tony's left arm on this shot. If we could throw this one back up for you. He throws his left arm out because there was pretty darn good defense that time on the part of Moncrief. And Tony threw his arm out to get open for the shot, and that's why Don Nelson was up yelling.
Moncrief now with 2 personal fouls. 7:28 to go in this third quarter. Tony doesn't get the second one. Look how Buckner came across the middle to come away with a rebound. Heads up play by Quinn Buckner. Hollins batted away, and that's going to be off of Quinn Buckner. Philadelphia will get the ball. 55-50, a chance now to cut it to 3. Moncrief on Tony. Don Nelson yelling from the other side. He didn't like that last call at all. The doctor shakes loose. Had a mismatch there for a moment. Has to kick it outside. Now 10 seconds on the shot clock. Andrew Tony backing in on Moncrief. Broke it up. Marcus Johnson going for it. He gets it off to Buckner. Beautiful play.
Great effort on the part of the Bucks that time defensively, and a super pass by Marcus Johnson to lead his man Buckner down the floor.
A 7-point lead now.
Now here's the play again. Right there, you see good defense. Marcus comes over, double teams, knocks the ball loose, it kicks off his foot. He beats his man Tony going, the other man Tony going after the ball. Super lead to Buckner. Now watch this move with the left hand, reverse underneath. Great move by Buckner, and the Bucks are up by 7.
Exciting playoff coverage Sunday. It'll either be Milwaukee and Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Boston, 1 o'clock Eastern, followed by Game 7, Kansas City at Phoenix. The Bucks have outscored the Sixers 13-5 in the third quarter. Mickey Johnson has 6 of those points. Lanier 5. Lionel Hollins, and Moncrief goes high with a rebound. 7-point lead now for Milwaukee. Marcus Johnson changed his shot. Mickey Johnson tries to follow, and it's going to be off of Philadelphia.
Interesting statistic here, Gary. In this quarter, every Milwaukee basket has come inside of 12 feet. They're really establishing that inside game. They've got 6-1 inside baskets over Philadelphia so far.
Philadelphia is only 2 for 9 shooting in this quarter. And the doctor has both field goals. That'll be a foul on the doctor. That will be his 3rd personal foul. Maurice Cheeks coming in now to the Philadelphia lineup. Lionel Hollins, who was 4 for 4 from the field in the first half, but missed a couple here, will sit down. 6:22 to go in this third quarter. Milwaukee must win, or their season comes to a close. If they do win, it shifts back to the Spectrum Sunday.
Marcus,
Game 7.
He's having a tough time from the free throw line. He missed 2 in a row in the first quarter also.
This guy has to be affected by the foul. He was 1 for 4 in that first half from the line. 57-50. Maurice Cheeks, as we mentioned, just checked back in. Caldwell Jones. Off it comes to Bobby Jones. Nice move by Bobby Jones. 57-52. Bobby Jones with 4 points. Bobby Jones averaging 14 points a game during this series. Mickey Johnson, Jones on in. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lanier making his move inside as Moncrief puts it up. Bob Lanier with the rebound to Moncrief. Blocked by Caldwell Jones, Lanier, and then Marcus Johnson.
That's just great basketball playing on the part of the Bucks. Good cut to the basket, nice feed, good defense by Jones again, but the Bucks controlling the offensive boards.
Boy, did Caldwell go after that shot. That's way off. And followed by the doctor. Julius Erving now with 20 points.
Well, that was as good as a pass. The ball hit the rim, and Julius got inside position on Marcus and had the easy 2.
59-54 in the first game this series. The doctor had 38 points. That foul, wait a minute. Going to go on Maurice Cheeks, his 2nd. Steve Mix will come in. Mix checks into the ball game.
And a big plus for the Bucks if they can ever convert at the free throw line with Markey missing those 2. It's 5-1. It's the penalty situation against the Sixers, and with only 1 team foul against the Bucks, they can really afford to be overly aggressive down the other end of the court and not have to worry about sending the Sixers to the free throw line.
Junior Bridgman has checked in now. Harvey Catchings comes in. Lanier will sit down. You see, Buckner's been very steady at that free throw line. His seasonal playoff the same. This guy has really had an outstanding year. Now you look at Bob Lanier. He doesn't want this season to end tonight.
And interesting, Bill, they're bringing Darryl Dawkins back in right now.
Well, they've got to give Caldwell Jones a little rest until they have him going down the stretch, because he's the kind of guy that you want to have as fresh as possible going down the stretch when the game has really got to be decided.
10 points now for Quinn Buckner, 61-54. Remember, Dawkins comes in with 4 personal fouls. Maurice Cheeks off to Steve Mix. Mix, who played so well in Game 5. Dawkins to Tony, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Tony, a power move. 61-56, Tony with 4 points.
You never let a man go baseline.
Got to have to shut the man off. Make him go to the middle where you get help.
Moncrief walked to the ball.
You know, one of the reasons, too, that Billy is probably bringing him in, Bill, is the fact that he's not really concerned about the offensive capabilities of Harvey Catchings either.
Right, so he don't figure he'll pick up a foul if he's going to guard Harvey Catchings because he doesn't shoot very often, if at all.
4:45 to go, third quarter. Tony, Cheeks in the backcourt. Here's Bobby Jones. Looks funny, Denny, wearing 3. You're used to seeing a guy in his number 24. Tony using a screen. They were trying to get around Dawkins, Moncrief was, and Moncrief committed his 3rd personal foul. Don Nelson up. .435.
And there's a foul.
Now that's going to be another foul.
Well, very quickly they're getting themselves to where they're going to lose that advantage with the fouls. That's 2 bad fouls in that situation. Again, they are being aggressive, so I guess they're not overly concerned, but they still have 1 more to use. And actually, well, they have 1 to use before the 2-minute period, so they've used up the 2 that they had to use, actually.
Bridgman now with 3 fouls, and there's another one. Bridgman has picked up 4. Bridgman picked up 2 in a hurry.
Well, here we see the isolation with Bridgman on Bobby Jones. Bobby makes the cut to the ball. There's Bridgman with him. He's on him. Bobby leans into him. He doesn't really give him a push. Bobby fell off balance, and the man who made the call, John Vanek, called it. He couldn't possibly see what Bridgman was doing from behind.
Quinn Buckner along with Cheeks, who touched it last. It'll be off of Philadelphia. Quinn Buckner has really played well in this 3rd quarter for Milwaukee. See Cheeks getting up. What a job he did the last game. 20 points, 10 assists. Right now, we're going to have a timeout called by Philadelphia with 4:22 remaining, 3rd quarter. Billy Cunningham's team, who led by 1 at halftime, now down by 5, 61-56. As Billy trying now to map some strategy. Don't forget tomorrow now on CBS Sports Saturday, a look at Terry Bradshaw, what his future has in store. Will he play football? Ralph Sampson, will he come out of college to play in the NBA? And also some dog sledding. Understand that dog sledding's from Alaska, and powerlifting.
I guess they used their 22nd timeout. There you see the foul trouble.
Boy, Bridgman got into foul trouble in a matter of seconds. He has 4. As you can see, Dawkins also with 4. Fresh 24 seconds for this Milwaukee team. Junior Bridgman has been relatively quiet in this game with 2 points. Here's Catchings. Rebound, Buckner. And Steve Mix rips it down. Off to Cheeks. Dawkins almost didn't see that ball. And he got to the ball. Almost picked up his 5th foul.
I'll tell you, he just crashes right into a man right here. Here you see Dawkins. Right there, the move made by Bridgman. Now watch what he does here to Buckner. Just runs right over Buckner. He didn't walk with the bat. He took a little shuffle there, but he crashed right into him. The walk really saved him on that one.
That would have been 5 fouls.
And Billy thought it was because he had Caldwell Jones up off the bench. He just went back to sit down right now.
That had to really get Billy breathing heavy. Oh, nice shot by Bridgman. That's only 4 points for Bridgman, who had 32 points in a game earlier in this series. A playoff high for the man from Louisville. 63-56. There's Billy Cunningham. Outstanding playoffs. He's just done a remarkable job. He's 28-16 coming into this game tonight in the playoffs. Here is Tony. Andrew Tony, 6 seconds on the shot clock, and he's fouled. Now Nelson to the bench up. They don't agree. It's going to go on Marcus Johnson, his 2nd. This little Tony's just kind of like a water bug out there right now, dipping in and out and creating some havoc as he will go to the line. Andrew Tony, who's been coming off the bench, and this Philadelphia bench has outscored Milwaukee thus far 12-8. Now make it 13-8.
Well, as I said, the advantage they had in the free throw line was just totally gone. Now 3 chances to make 2, so they really didn't take advantage of that situation at all.
Andrew Toney, 6'3", their first-round draft pick, the 8th player taken. He was the 2nd leading scorer in Southwest Louisiana school history. 63, 58. Marcus Johnson looks like he's coming out a little bit more now. Instead of playing inside, Johnson outside, Mix out to pick him up. What a move!
And again, to break down defensively, Toney or one of the other players on that side of the court, I believe Cheeks was there also, never stepped in to shut the lane off and force the kick out.
There's Dawkins. Dawkins with catchings on him as Lanier still resting on the side. Toney inside, picks up his dribble, hits it. Again, Toney just doing some yeoman work inside. He has 8 points. 5-point lead now for Milwaukee. The Doctor getting ready to come back in for the Sixers. Richmond again. Darrell Dawkins brings it down off to Toney. Buckner trying to get him to pick up his dribble. 2.5 minutes to go at the end of this 3rd quarter. Toney backing in, and Toney is just really going to work now. He's in double figures with 10 points and timeout called by Milwaukee. With 2:28 to go in the 3rd. A doubleheader of playoff action coming your way Sunday. It'll either be Milwaukee at Philadelphia or the Sixers opening up the series against Boston and Kansas City at Phoenix in Game 7 of that Western Conference semifinal. All begins at 1 o'clock Eastern. In this 3rd quarter, Andrew Toney has really picked up this Philadelphia team. He scored 10 points, 9 of those coming in the 3rd quarter. Philadelphia's bench has outscored Milwaukee 18-8. Ryan Winters, 67-62. Winters with 4 points.
And Billy Cunningham that time felt that Winters threw his arm off, and he was calling for the offensive foul.
There's Winters, boy, he ran into Dawkins that time. That's rubbing him off, isn't it, when you wheel around like that? 10 seconds on the shot clock.
That's like rubbing him out.
Steve Mix, and he walked to the ball.
Good defense by the Bucks, because he went into heavy traffic and they all took a shot at the ball and threw the timing off. That's why he double dribbled or carried the ball, whatever they call it.
You know, Mix was so effective inside, but that time he was really intimidated. Eventually shuffled the feet. He was Bill Russell's and Rick Barry's and Bob Stinner's MVP, not mine. Maurice Cheeks was mine. I want you guys to remember that. And there is a foul on Toney. Andrew Toney with his 2nd personal foul. And they're over the limit, the penalty in effect. Sidney Moncrief will go to the line. There's the turnovers. 18-13. We had a correction a moment ago from the graphic we showed you earlier. Remember, in all but one game this year, Philadelphia has committed more turnovers than Milwaukee. And the only time that didn't occur was Wednesday night. 68-62. Another thing to remember, man, the 2 games that Milwaukee has won in this series, they've held Philadelphia to less than 100 points, and that could happen in this game. This is 68-62 with 1:40 in the 3rd. Milwaukee is out rebounding the Sixers 33-18, and they've done that in every game but one. Here's Mickey Johnson. Mickey Johnson with 16 points. And he was able to get that shot up because Darrell was a little reluctant to really go after him because of the foul situation that he is in. 70-62. The Doctor, Dawkins and Catching just pushed off on him. Harvey Catching pushing off on Darrell. That will be 4 fouls on Catchings, a penalty, and also at the other end.
Would you think it'd be safe to say that Harvey Catching has his hands full?
I think that's a pretty fair statement, pretty accurate. You are 6'11" and weigh about 260 to 280, varying from day to day. Okay. Hawkins now with 6 points. Those are his first points of the 2nd half of play. 70-64. Ryan Winters, Cheeks on him. 1:12 left in this 3rd quarter. Winters looking for Catchings against Dawkins. They want to get that foul on him. Rebound Dawkins. Boy, they were really working on Darrell that time.
The mistake he made, he had him in the air. He should have let him fall on top of him.
Toney. And that will be goaltending.
Offensive foul. They got an offensive foul before, Gary.
Did they? Manny called the goaltending out here, but the offensive foul on Tony, that's his third.
Now here you see him coming to make the move now, going underneath to get set as Moncrief. He's set. There's the drive in. He's got good position. It's a good call.
Boy, did Catchings hit the deck, though, after he went up for that blocked shot. So as we check the lineup now, Brian Winters, Junior Bridgman, Moncrief, Mickey Johnson, and Harvey Catchings for Milwaukee. Less than a minute to go, third quarter. Moncrief working on Tony. Moncrief from outside. Catchings follows. Mix has a piece of it. Mickey Johnson comes out of there.
What a great hustle on the part of Mickey Johnson. He just made up his mind that he was going to get that rebound, and it was a valiant effort on his part.
Mickey Johnson has to be considered right now as one of the MVPs of this game. He has 18 points, and he has worked hard in this game. He had 5 rebounds in the first half. Triple team on the doctor. 7 seconds for Ace Cheeks. Beautiful ball movement after the doctor got in trouble. 72-66. Cheeks with 6 points. They're going to let him shoot it. And Bridgman. Boy, those are tough shots sometimes, as that will end our third quarter. Bridgman looked up to see how much time he had, and he nailed it. This CBS Sports Special will continue after this word from your local station.
You know, talking about contact, we've always talked about how rough this series is going to be, how physical it's going to be. This is a good example of it, Rick.
Yeah, it sure is, Bill. Now watch right there in your circle. You'll see Steve Mix and Mickey Johnson. Now watch what Mix does to Johnson when he tries to go to the offensive boards. A shot outside by Bridgman. Just shoves him off the court. Marcus keeps it alive. Now Mickey sneaks inside. Now watch what Mickey battles for this ball, what Steve does to him when he shoots it. He just walks under him, bangs him again. No foul, but the basket went in.
We start this fourth quarter. Be sure and stay tuned now for the MVP at the conclusion of the game. I think I'll vote by myself this time. I'm being ignored by the other two. Here's Brian Winters. 76-66. That's the biggest lead of the game now for the Milwaukee Bucks. And look at the shooting statistics. 57 from the field. They had a 9-point lead in the first half. They've now stretched it to 10 in the second half of play. The doctor backing in on Catchings. Catchings playing in some foul trouble with 4. And he intimidated that shot. The Bucks with that 10-point lead. Bobby Jones tries to reach in. Moncrief. Into Catchings, blocked by Caldwell Jones. Out it comes now to Cheeks. Cheeks making his move. Backs out, waits, off to the doctor again. 11 minutes left in this game. Caldwell wide open, he's fouled by Brian Winters.
I think that was all basketball that time, but it's a big break for the Sixers. A good pass inside to Caldwell. You see Caldwell Winters on it. He makes a cut across the middle. Nice spin to the basket. Well, a little turn, and now Winters goes up right there. That's all basketball.
At the line, Caldwell Jones. Winters now with 3 personal fouls. The first team foul of this fourth quarter. Look at it again.
Look, you judge for yourself and see if Winters catches anything. Another angle from behind the basket. Now that little cut inside. Good lob pass. He goes up. There's Winters. That's basketball again, as far as I could see that time. But it's not what I think that matters, is it?
Well,
I want to speak to you about that, Rick.
That's it. Pick on the other guy for a while down here. 76-68. Caldwell Jones is 5 of 6 now from the free throw line in this game. Mickey Johnson, Bobby Jones on him. Here's Catchings, back to Mickey. Moncrief moving well off the ball. Clint Richardson reaches in, commits the foul.
He's going to call that going to the basket, that Richardson had hold of Moncrief on the move to the basket, and that's why he couldn't shoot. Now Moncrief makes a good cut. He'll make a little move here to spin back to the basket. Gives a little shove off with the left hand, though, right there on the arm as he was starting up is the foul call against Richardson. So Moncrief got away with an offensive push, and the foul goes on Richardson.
You can see 3 men with 4 each. Dawkins, Bridgman, and Catchings. There is Catchings sitting down. Bob Lanier has checked back in. He got a pretty good rest, didn't he, Bill?
Yeah, he's been sitting around nice and cold.
I'll tell you one thing, too. Philadelphia did not get their inside game going at all in that quarter. Again, they had a low shooting. They only had 17 shots. They were only 3 for 10 inside of 12 feet. Again, a very poor percentage as compared to 11 for 17 in the second quarter. But Milwaukee really has improved. 10 for 17, Gary, inside of that 12-foot area.
Moncrief now with 11 points. It's a 10-point lead again. Off to Bobby Jones. Lanier may have committed the foul and did. A chance for a three-pointer. That's his second personal. Nice play by Bobby Jones.
Well, Bobby, one of the better players in close to the basket with the ability to use the left hand. Here you see it take him up. He protects it, lays it up with the left hand. Lanier says he never even touched him on the play, and he was complaining about it. Bill, you shook your head. You didn't think he hit him?
Looked like he missed. I don't know how, but it looks like he missed.
How can you miss when you're that big? Bobby Jones, you see the average. He had 21 points in one game, 22 in another, and they missed another free throw. Boy, Jones, that's the only one he's missed tonight, but he doesn't miss very many. It's an 8-point lead for the Bucks. 10-22 left in this game. Bob Lanier, Caldwell Jones staying with him. Here's Brian Winters. Brian Winters had two men up in his face that time.
So what happened is he used the screen by Lanier real well. His man went behind it. When you go behind Lanier, you're leaving a guy like that open, and he can drop him in as well as anyone. He's got the range.
Another 10-point lead for Milwaukee. Into the doctor. What a beautiful fake. And a loose ball foul coming up. It's going to go on Mickey Johnson, I believe.
We'll see Mickey again just crash in. Here you go. Lanier got pumped in the air. He just tries to avoid Julius. Julius tried to draw the foul, but there was no contact. He lays it up. Here comes Mickey Johnson right over the back of Bobby Jones, who had inside position. And that was your foul. With 9:56 to go in the fourth, Bucks up by 10.
The preceding announcement was furnished by the National Basketball Association.
Sometimes you wonder how a man gets open. Watch on the circle. Bobby Jones will come into the play. Mickey Johnson, who picked up the foul, got caught watching the play to Julius inside. See, he's looking. Bobby cuts right inside. There he is, wide open. Now Mickey sees what's happening. He comes in, picks up the foul. You must screen your man out off the glass and know where he is at all times.
We should note that when the Bucks have led going into the fourth quarter this year, they've won 48 of 50 games. That's the best in the NBA, and they led coming into this quarter. They now lead. The lead almost cut, but Lanier brings it down. It's a 10-point lead for Milwaukee. Quinn Buckner. Buckner backing in. Milwaukee is out rebounded. The Sixers 38-20. Waving it off, the foul on Bobby Jones.
And Bobby knew it. There was a good pass by Lanier this time. Lanier will get it inside. You see Mickey Johnson holding off against Bobby Jones. Got him into a tough position. Bobby went for the steal, picked up the foul.
That's 3 on Bobby Jones. That's the second team foul on the Sixers.
Bill, if Bob Lanier doesn't throw a bounce pass in that situation, Bobby Jones would have picked it off.
Right.
Ryan Winters inbounds it to Lanier. Lanier, that's like money in the bank, handed the ball to him that way. Off it comes to Quinn Buckner. Caldwell Jones on Lanier right now. Dawkins on the bench at the 9:18 mark. Winters has hit two big ones from outside.
And they set that play up by setting a screen by Lanier, who rubbed off the man who was Winters, and he went wide open because Caldwell Jones did not switch off.
They set a decoy up like they were trying to get the ball inside.
Ryan Winters with 10 points. 9 minutes left. And they hit him on the way going up. Junior Bridgman. Bridgman committing a foul. Nope, they're going to give it on Mickey Johnson. Johnson ran by and hit him.
Mickey went to attack the doctor, go for a double team, which seems to be the strategy, I guess, against the doctor. They're trying to do it much more. Mickey, a little upset, felt that he didn't have anything but the ball, but the doctor's at the line for 2 shots.
The doctor went up anyway. That ball dislodged. Got a shot underway. That's 4 fouls now on Mickey Johnson. 4th team foul on Milwaukee. One more and they'll be in the penalty with still 8:59 to go in this game. Julius Erving missing.
That's 2 for 4 for Philly right now in this fourth period from the free throw line. Milwaukee's made the 2 free throws that they have attempted.
During the year, this man shot 79% from the line, so he gets 1 of 2. 82-71. Julius with 21 points. He's averaged almost 25 this entire series, which now is game 6, maybe game 7 Sunday. Quinn Buckner cheeks out on him. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Winters again, he's hot. Rebound Johnson, and a foul. I want to tell you guys something. Mickey Johnson has just done an outstanding job, which brings me up to the point be thinking about an MVP.
Okay, Gary, we'll be thinking about it.
And I know you guys are concur because you never do.
You know, one thing
foul on Cheeks.
what the Bucks are doing, they all get together at the free throw line in that situation and I guess talk about what's happening in the ball game so that they all are in sync with one another. But Brian Winters, and it was smart play, Bill. He's had the hot hand. They had 2 screens set for him. He started across away from the ball, got a man to screen him. Then he came off that screen. Then he had Lanier looking for whoever switched off to get him, and they had him open.
Mickey Johnson's missed 2 free throws, and coming into this ball game, he was just unbelievable. He hit 14 of 14 in one night. He had 19 straight coming into the night. 83-71. Cheeks gets it out to Lionel Hollins. Hollins challenges him inside and doesn't get it. Rebound again by Mickey Johnson. What a job he has done. This young man from Aurora College in Illinois, blocked by Jones, but a foul on Caldwell. That's 4 on CJ. Timeout is called by Philadelphia.
And Mickey Johnson is definitely pumped up, Bill. He is really doing it all.
You think he came ready to play?
That's a good thing. He did. Here he makes the drive, going left, takes it strong to the basket with the body. Jones gets him, made the block on it, but good play by Johnson.
This CBS Sports Special will continue after this word from your local station. Well, on Sunday, we may have 2 7th games coming up. The way this is going right now, if Milwaukee hangs on to this lead, it'll be his 7th game of their Eastern Conference semifinal. And the same story, Kansas City and Phoenix.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gary, the Bucks are playing good basketball, but this Philadelphia team is very, very capable of taking 12 points and getting rid of them very quickly with 8 minutes and 18 seconds to go. And I'm sure Billy is going to have his team out there doing the type of things he would like to see them do, which would be, of course, to try to work the ball just a little bit better. The pressure, I think, Bill, by the Buck defense has been rattling them somewhat, and they're really going a little more to that one-on-one that hurts them so much.
Did you see that? The Sixers are 1 of 7 from the field in this quarter. That's the 20th point of the night for Mickey Johnson. He also has 9 rebounds. And from the free throw line tonight, he is 6 of 8. And for the series now, he is 29 of 33. That's around 87%. 85-71. Cheeks, Bobby Jones. Lionel Hollins. Bobby Jones tries to keep it in play. Here comes Quinn Buckner. Buckner. Off to Junior Bridgman. Bridgman to Buckner. And they hit the boards, and a loose ball foul coming up. Going to be Bridgman. Foul by number 2. Junior Bridgman has now 5 personal fouls. He's the first to pick up 5 in this game.
And so do the Bucks have 5 fouls, so they're shooting the free throw.
There you see the shot coming up by Buck there. Inside position. Mickey Johnson was right there again, but Julius was able to tip it away, and over the back goes Junior Bridgman, fouling Lionel Hollins, who is at the line at the other end for 1 plus the penalty for 2.
Bridgman leads with the 5 fouls. He has 6 points tonight. As Lionel Hollins at the line at the 7:55 mark. Remember now, the penalty in. Lionel Hollins, after hitting those first 2 early, now having a little trouble again shooting from the field.
Yes, he was. I mean, he is having trouble. Now he misses again. That's 3 for 7 from the free throw line for Philadelphia here in the 4th quarter.
85-71. Quinn Buckner. Up it comes to Marcus Johnson. Andrew Toney getting ready to check in for the Sixers. Lanier and Brian Winters.
Bad timing on the rebound that time. The Philadelphia man went up, and he mistimed the ball that popped right to Winters, who was just standing there and got a Christmas present early.
Winters has 10 points in the second half, 12 for the game. That'll be a foul on Mickey Johnson. Johnson storming about that. That is his 5th personal foul. So Bridgman and Johnson all of a sudden get into foul difficulty with still 7:24 to go. The Bucks now have outscored Philadelphia 9-1. 87-71. Mickey Johnson, that's about the only way they're going to cool him off tonight, the way he's been playing, getting him in foul trouble.
Now comes a tough decision for the coach. He's got to know his players. A guy like Mickey Johnson, who's having an outstanding game, you want to keep him there as much as possible to get as many minutes out of him as you can. Now, do you sit him down and rest him and wait for to see what happens, or do you let him keep playing? If he keeps playing and he doesn't get another foul, then what they end up with is they may be able to break the game open and put it out of reach. Foul. So that's what the coach has got to try to do in a situation like that. That's why he would leave a guy like Mickey Johnson in with 5 fouls.
Left part of your screen, you saw Tony getting called for tripping on that play. Buckner will go to the free throw line with 2 opportunities. And before those free throw situation right there, Gary, Philadelphia had only scored 5 points in this quarter.
Harvey Catchings will now check into the ball game.
Now, John Nelson has obviously made a choice that he'll take Mickey Johnson out. And if they keep the lead, he may not have to use him anymore. But if it gets tough, if Philly makes a comeback, then they got him, have him so he can use him.
Johnson and Bridgman down with 5 fouls right now. Catchings coming in. He has 4 himself. Buckner with 11 points. Quinn has played a much better game than he did Wednesday night. He was not shooting well, but he seemingly has gotten that part of his game back. Penalty of another free throw coming. Quinn Buckner, his best performance as far as scoring is concerned was 16 points. That occurred in the first game of this series. He came back with a 13-point game in game 3. 88-73. 7:18 left in this game. See Lanier jumping out there to help. Should Tony make a move? Steve Mix, nice reverse. Caldwell Jones. And Philadelphia needed that basket, and Caldwell Jones now with 11 points.
And the Bucks better be careful because they had a chance with those free throws to really increase this lead, and that basket right there cuts it to 13 and plenty of time to go for Philadelphia.
88-75 inside, 7 minutes left in this game. Johnson to Buckner.
Great bounce pass, great back cut on the part of Buckner. Philly's defense totally out of position that time.
Buckner again has really played well. 13 points, the Doctor. Julius makes it 90-77. The Doctor with 23 points. Buckner up to Catching. Bob Lanier. Marcus Johnson saved by Catchings off to Quinn Buckner. Good ball movement now by the Bucks. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lanier wheels in and he's been fouled.
Here's the play again. Lanier makes his move across the middle of Julius with good position. Tony slaps him on the arm as he cuts across. Here we see the play from before. Look at that back cut right there. The man Mix got caught out of position. He made the cut to the backs of the weak side man, who was Caldwell Jones. Couldn't get over in time. That was a great back cut that time. Love to see that kind of basketball as Brian Winters gets a wrist.
Sidney Moncrief replaces him. There's Lanier, a little body English again, getting the ball to go. 19 points for Bob Lanier.
And that long free throw again.
Boy, this guy has really played hard. Boy, he didn't have any arcs on that one, did he?
He sure didn't.
92-77. 6:17. There's Billy Cunningham getting some liquid refreshment. Tony a while ago committing his 5th personal foul. Now missing a shot. Julius comes up with it. Julius this year was 7th in the NBA in steals. Tony waits now. Tried to get it to Doctor. Broke it up. 20 turnovers in the game against Philadelphia. Marcus Johnson. Johnson just forcing the boards. And you can see this crowd, the sellout crowd of 11,000 plus is excited as the Bucks trying to extend this playoff series to 7 games. It would go to the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Milwaukee leads it 94-77. If things continue the way they are right now, we'll have 2 7th games. 7th games between Philadelphia and Milwaukee and Kansas City Phoenix. Boy, what a Sunday of basketball that will be here on CBS. 5:42 to go in this one. The Sixers haven't given up yet. That ball hit the back, stopped the upright, and that will give it to the Milwaukee Bucks. That's 21 turnovers now against the Sixers. Look at this. 3 of 12 for 25%.
Well, a lot of that has to be credited to the Milwaukee defense. They have played outstanding defense, been very aggressive. They haven't given the Sixers very many open shots.
94-77. Sixers earlier won one game here in the series. Marcus Johnson. Oh, is that a power move? Marcus Johnson now with 11 points after scoring only 3 in the first half. And Milwaukee with a 96-77 lead. Tony rebounds Steve Mix. Clint Richardson. Here's Curtin, the rookie, and tipped up and in by the Doctor for 25 points now. 96-79. I'll tell you, there's one guy that hasn't given up yet.
He never does. You know, he's so lucky. All those good teams always follow him around. Every place he goes is a good team.
It's amazing how that happens, isn't it?
Quinn Buckner out to Marcus Johnson. Boy, Johnson's come alive now. 13 points for Johnson. 98-79. The Bucks right now trying to close out this game 6 in impressive fashion. Less than 4.5 minutes. A foul. Let's go back to that follow by the Doctor.
And it's a perfect example, again, how you have to screen someone off. Here you see Curtin making the move. Doctor moves over, gets the good position right there on the Philadelphia man, uses the left arm to screen him off, dunks it back in the basket. You cannot give him inside position.
You know what I can't figure out? You got a guy like the Doctor there who you know how tough he is. How can you forget to screen him out? But it happens all the time. I know I used to do it.
What'll happen a lot of times, you know what happens, Bill. Sometimes somebody will set a screen for him. He'll run off the screen, and the man guarding the man who does the screening never makes the switch. And then you've got a problem because you've got the Doctor loose. And when the Doctor's loose, you have to get some medical help. Send for the insurance company.
Well, the Doctor now has taken a breather. He has sat down. Ollie Johnson, number 18, has come in to replace him. He goes out with 25 points. Moncrief, a double pump. Marcus Johnson. Johnson is just storming now. He has 15 points. 181. Remember now, if this continues, this looks like it'll be the third game in this series. And Philadelphia scored less than 100 points, and they've lost all three. Clint Richardson, rebound, Bob Lanier. Lanier's going to dribble it up.
And I tell you what, I bet you Bob Lanier comes out of the game when Mickey Johnson, who's at the scorer's table, reports back in. They want to save those knees for Sunday.
And right now, the Dr. Julius Irving may be saving it for Sunday. Here's Moncrief chasing down in the backcourt. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Quinn Buckner. Buckner shooting extremely well now with 15. Good balance by this Milwaukee team.
You know, Quinn Buckner was the leading scorer on his state championship high school basketball team.
There's at Thornbridge High School in Dalton, Illinois, and he went on to play on that NCAA championship team in 1976, and the fans are on their feet. They're getting a standing ovation with 3 minutes left in this game. Bob Lanier, the catchings, no, that will not count. Walking. These fans here are thinking one thing right now. That is, they hope the Bucks return to Milwaukee Arena. That would mean they would be continuing in the playoffs as Lanier will now leave with 2:59 left. The winner of this series will play the Boston Celtics for the Eastern Conference Championship.
And that's no bargain.
Oh. Look at that. Outstanding response. Lanier leaves with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Bob Lanier did not want his season to end, and he went out and did something about it. Don Nelson talked about that at the top of the show, and this 32-year-old man will now get another crack at getting to that World Championship final as they play Sunday.
He's 32. He can look a day over 31 and a half.
And you will see this man, Billy Cunningham, and the Sixers against Milwaukee on Sunday. And, of course, Bill Fitch and the Boston Celtics waiting, I would think, a little bit impatiently. Bill, what about it? They had a layoff before the Chicago series. Now the Celtics have another one. Is that too many days off?
No.
Beautiful hook.
You know, fellas, we've seen these two teams play 3 times, twice in Philadelphia, when Philadelphia beat them rather handily. Once here now, and the Bucks handling them. But now it's coming down to one game, of course, that do-or-die situation that everybody talks about. It's going to be interesting to see which team comes out on top.
Both these teams winning over 60 games. 3 teams this year winning 60 games, and all of them coming out of the East. Catchings missed the stop, but Marcus Johnson.
They're trying to get him on the scoreboard. And the last time he took steps, and this time he missed it.
There's the play again. Nice pass off by Marcus Johnson. Harvig's up for the dunk, and he just let the ball get out of his hands too soon.
This is what you call a long evening.
Junior Bridgman comes in. Marcus Johnson will lead with 15 points. The bad back and all. He really responded. And he's going to have to respond again Sunday in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Bridgman playing with 5 fouls. Here's Mike Evans, who just checked in. And Evans, 105 to 83. Less than 2 minutes to go in this game.
I'm surprised that since he's made substitutions, Don Nelson, he hasn't taken Mickey Johnson out of this game.
New faces in the lineup now. Both coaches have taken their frontliners out, getting ready for Sunday.
Great shot by Evans, but I guess he didn't take Mickey out because he wanted him to make that block down the other end.
This crowd is static here. Tony, rebound, ripped down by Mickey Johnson.
Now you can talk about your MVP, Gary.
Well, I've already selected mine. I'm going to let you guys say first.
Well, I'll have to vote for Mickey Johnson.
All right. I agree. What about you?
As much as I hate to admit it, Gary, since you had such great perception on this one, I concur.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have concurred for the first time in about 8 weeks. So it is Mickey Johnson, the Miller Highlight Most Valuable Player Award. Mickey Johnson, an outstanding performance with 22 points as he followed that 20-point performance on Wednesday night. He also had in the game 11 rebounds and 2 assists.
I tell you, they better save a couple of these because what they're doing to Philadelphia now is going to make them even more upset. And of course, it comes down to that one game, Bill, and you don't want to have that other team too upset with you.
Mickey Johnson now with 24.
It doesn't make
hits
any
again.
difference. Rick. Upset him. Really upset Ricky Jim.
Here is Clint Richardson with the steal. And Clint is fouled by Mike Evans. So the Miller $1,000 donation is going to be made to the Special Olympics. They have the Mickey Johnson and Don Nelson. His team will return to Philadelphia for Game 7.
You know, you look at a game like this, it's just wide open game. You just look at the score, you say it must not be much of a game. But with teams this tough, they'll face off and bump until one team backs off. And when you back off, the intensity level is so high, this is why a game like this gets out of hand.
They're going to bring that back. The penalty in. Richardson will get another free throw. Well, what do you think about Sunday, man?
Well, I think you're going to have 2 great ball games. Certainly.
They call them barn burners.
20 seconds left in this. So the Milwaukee Bucks will extend Philadelphia to 7 games.
I'll tell you, boy, Gary, I know, Bill, about you, I love to play in the 7th game when you got a chance. That's when it really becomes fun because everything becomes so important, and that's when the really good players, I think, will rise to the occasion.
And it's going to wind down. It's all over. Milwaukee with an impressive 109 to 86 win. They have evened up this best-of-7 series at 3 games apiece, setting up an unbelievable Sunday we're going to have. 2 7th games starting at 1 o'clock Eastern. Our producer, Robert Stenner. Our director of the game tonight, Sandy Grossman, our Emmy Award winner. That doesn't even look like him, does it?
Nah, too thin.
So our producer, our director, Sandy Grossman, Rick Sharp, our associate producer, our associate directors, Mike Burks, and Rick Sharp. What a job these men have done. We thank you, gentlemen. Just an excellent job all the way. Bob Seiderman, the audio man, who had everything working very, very well. So, looking ahead, the CBS Sports Saturday tomorrow, exclusive interviews. Terry Bradshaw of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Ralph Sampson of Virginia. Will he come to the NBA? Will Bradshaw continue in the NFL? And look at this. It's going to be Milwaukee at Philadelphia. 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Game 7 for the Eastern Conference Semifinal Championship. A right to go against Boston, and then Kansas City at Phoenix in Game 7 of that. For Rick Barry and Bill Russell, I'm Gary Bender. This sports special is a presentation of CBS Sports.